At AUC Kata says, Minoru Suzuki versus Bryan Danielson is everything I love about pro wrestling. Heart emoji, hashtag AEW Rampage Buy-In, hashtag tweet the table. And you know what, I before I let you comment on this match, and it was great, the thing that really hit me here was we've talked about a lot about where we're like, we want stories. We want stories in pro wrestling, right? And this isn't even necessarily a story. But why this is so much cooler is everybody who actually knows pro wrestling and knows MMA and some other things knows who Minoru Suzuki is. We would never have gotten this series of runs that we've seen with Minoru Suzuki traveling around the country and having matches on WWE. They just wouldn't do it, and wouldn't do it this way.
I agree. And I also think the reason why this one-off match works is because it was just a match and it was a fantasy booking that didn't need to be convoluted, right? We didn't need to have a disagreement between Minoru Suzuki and Bryan Danielson. Now, when we've used Minoru Suzuki in the past, he has had some run-ins with people who, you know, look at Jon Moxley and his feud of the year against all of Japan Pro Wrestling. So he's going to take up the flag for Japanese Pro Wrestling and say like, hey, I am the one who represents this style. I'll kick your ass, right? And then with that, you get Lance Archer, which was Suzuki-gun. So like you get the stories with Minoru. He's not just showing up saying like, hey, what up, right? But this one, we can do that because of just the track record of both talents, right? It's just a thing where you go, look at the track record here, look at the track record here. What are their styles like? Well, they mesh pretty well if we're just thinking about it. Now let's see it together. So again, it wasn't the main event of their biggest pay-per-view. It was just a, wouldn't this be fun? And we all said, it's fun. Yeah. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think it's that the match stand alone, based on how this Suzuki thing has been going. If anybody's been paying attention, it's clear he's on his United States tour right now, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's by design, what matches can we get in with Minoru Suzuki? But what I mean by like WWE wouldn't do this is that would put him on a level that they wouldn't acknowledge that he could be on in their world.
Mm-hmm.
Do you you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally understand.
And so
totally
he would
agree.
have to have some weird thing behind it, and it just wouldn't be.
It would be convoluted. It would be
They're not
muddying the waters.
Lex Luger Express.
Right.
For Suzuki here, right?
Yeah.
But AEW will allow that, and that's something I do appreciate. Even when it's not my favorite thing to be like, oh, guy from Japan,
just one-off
Bryan
match.
Danielson, one-off match. But this particular match, though, however, let's zero in on it as well. The fight it was, right? And the selling they did for each other, and just the way they had the crowd feeding and everything.
Here's the thing that I thought about midway point when the crowd started chanting, when the crowd started to chant "Fight Forever." Mm-hmm. It made me think, I've heard this recently. Oh, that's right. I heard it when we saw him at Glory Pro. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute. I think I've even heard that more recently. Oh, that's right. I heard it when he fought Joey Janela in GCW. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. But then I heard it. It's like, he is just,
he's great.
Here's the thing. Well, but here's the thing. I feel like the American tour is very taxing on his body because it almost feels like, you know, when you play the New York Yankees or right now, if you play the Kansas City Chiefs, like when you're coming in, they are going to give you their best shot. You may be beat up from the week before, the night before, whatever, especially in Suzuki's case. But Bryan Danielson came into this match saying like, we're going to get a classic. We're going to try for 5 stars here, or whatever your, grading scale is. Right. And I just kept thinking like, he's getting that with every fucking person.
Everyone.
I hope that by the end,
Joey Janela, Davey Richards,
Bryan Danielson, Jeff Cobb, all of these guys are just beating the fuck out of him. You know what I mean? And so like,
but he does it with a smile. He loves it.
Oh, I know. But like collectively, I feel like all these promotions, Glory Pro, GCW, AEW,
and
need
the
to
countless
put
others that we haven't heard about probably.
Yeah. But I feel like there needs to be a collective like offering plate given to Suzuki after this for like, thank you for what you did to your body.
You know what it is?
You know what like
it
an
is?
Extra bonus.
You know what it is? An interview with the Spanish Announce Table.
Yeah, I don't know if he was too warm to that. Remember when we met him?
Yeah, he was like, hey guys.
He was very nice. Yeah, he was very
yeah.
nice, but he was. Now, credit to him, he was already probably getting ready for the match and stuff, but like, he didn't really want to talk.
You think he was like, are these the guys I'm going to beat up and, that are going to come in and try to save? I'm like, should we practice that a little bit?
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to get you with one of these. And this one I call the How's Your Father?
Yeah,
All right, let's head back then to, unless you have anything to wrap up with, Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki. I can't sing the praises of it enough.
Well, so what do you think that Bryan Danielson just beat him clean? It was the running knee, 1, 2, 3, no shenanigans, no, Lance Archer ends up screwing over Suzuki on accident. You know what I'm saying? Like being an idiot or whatever. Like it was just straight up. What do you think about that decision?
That is interesting. I didn't give it a whole lot of thought just because, again, I was looking at this as a standalone, but I didn't even, so I thought it was interesting that it was, I guess I wasn't surprised that Danielson went over. You know what I mean? Who knows?
I thought, honestly, with AEW, they were going to go to a time limit draw. Just say, like, hey, both these guys are great. None of them are going to be coming out looking really bad. And Suzuki didn't, right?
No.
But I just thought that was interesting. Bryan Danielson, clean victory. No shenanigans. No Kenny Omega comes out. Nothing.
But what do you do next with Bryan Danielson now, right? Because he has acted, though, as like, he's like, I'm not on the CM Punk tour. I'm here to fucking win some shit.
I know who I want him to wrestle.
Nope.
But who do you think before I share mine?
See, I don't even. So the Elite are tied up with the Hangman thing, right? So they're out. I mean, you've got Archer, right? I mean, Lance Archer's solid. I would love to see that match. So I'm going to go with that one. I'll go with Lance Archer.
Oh, I'm saying give him God's favorite champion.
Oh, my God. Okay, after we get done with the tables, we're going to talk about that. God,
but he's just kind of walking around now, like a dog who just lost his favorite puppy. And Bryan Danielson's there, and I know they've wrestled each other in WWE, and you're going to say, like,
but not the
WWE
way they would
guys
wrestle here.
Well, and these aren't even the characters from WWE.
No, right.
Miro is nothing like Rusev.
Nope.
And Bryan Danielson has this edge to him that was nothing like Daniel Bryan.
This was the NXT guy who got thrown out for choking out Justin Roberts.
Yeah, this is that
Bryan
Bryan Danielson.
To choke him out again.
Something. Eventually something, right?
TNT may not allow that.
But just allude to it, right?
Yeah.
Like just like a side choke, like a bulldog choke.
Or if it's something, he's like, here, let me help you with that collar. And then just cinches it a little bit. And he's like,
yeah, something like that. That's, because we'll get into this here probably a little bit, but did you catch CM Punk when Serena Deeb, after she did her interview, and he's like, good head of hair there.
Good head of hair on that Serena Deeb.
Yeah.
That's great.
That was good touch. Great. But yes, so what I would do with Bryan Danielson while he's doing this walkabout before we get some structure around him is I would say he goes right for Miro. That then determines who goes next to Sammy Guevara. I would put Bryan Danielson over to then make Miro still become this like, what in the fuck is happening to me thing. Then you do Bryan Danielson, Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship.
Higher time.
Higher time. Tony Khan, I know you're online. You're heavily online. You're actively online. We're going to put this clip together. We're going to send it to you. I'm available, man. Anytime you need.
We'd love to talk. Hey,
anytime.
You're welcome to interview as well on the Spanish Announce Table, Mr. Khan.
Yeah,
we'll make time for you.